The Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in Tehran for a three-way summit with his Turkish counterpart and the Iranian Supreme Leader. This is just his second foreign trip since the Russian invasion and first one outside the former Soviet states. Ahead of a trilateral meeting, the Iranian president held talks with the Turkish counterpart. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was also a part of the meeting, told the visiting Turkish president that any offensive in northern Syria would be detrimental for the region. Now, this is in response to Turkey's latest threat to launch another operation in northern Syria, which is opposed by Tehran and Moscow. Both the countries have prevailed in their support for the president Bashar al-Assad against the West, which called for him to be toppled since the Syrian civil war started in 2011.
به جای توسل به جنگ و آوارگی بیشتر موج جدیدی از مردم سوریه بتوانیم از مسیر سیاسی به حل و فصل این موضوع هم کمک بکنیم. در عین حال مسئله بازگشت آوارگان سوری به منازلشون و به شهرهای خودشون، مسئله کمک به صلح و ثبات و امنیت در سوریه از جمله موضوعاتی است که در دستور کار این نشست سه‌جانبه قرار دارد.
While for Russia, the visit is seen as an attempt to build ties with Iran, which has been a foe of the US since the 1979 revolution and one of the few remaining international allies of Moscow. Ahead of the trip, Putin sent a message to the West against the attempts to isolate a country from the rest of the world.
Ясно, что мы не можем оторванно от всего мира развиваться. Но так и не будет. В современном мире невозможно вот так все, знаете, циркулем обвести и выставить огромный забор. Это просто невозможно.
Putin is scheduled to meet his counterpart, Ibrahim Raisi, today, along with Iran's Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Russia and Iran have grown closer since the West started isolating Moscow over its invasion. The Kremlin says a trusting dialogue has developed with Iran on most important issues where their positions are either close or identical. For Iran, ties with Russia are a way to balance the clout of the United States and its alliances across the Gulf with Arab rulers and Israel. Iran is also betting that with Russia's support, it could pressure Washington to offer concessions for reviving the 2015 nuclear deal. Russia, Ukraine, Turkiye and the United Nations are expected to sign a deal later this week aimed at resuming the shipping of grains from Ukraine across the Black Sea. For more on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen getting us this report from Renana.
With the stalled Iran nuclear talks, Iran's efforts to entrench its forces in Syria and Russia's apparent interest in buying Iranian drones, the US and Israel will be keeping a close eye on any announcements coming out of the summit on Tuesday and on any movement of Russian or Iranian forces. Turkey too appears to be concerned about Iran building up its forces in and around Aleppo and is talking about another military operation in the northwest against Kurdish fighters there. And Turkey's also keen to close a deal with Russia to release grain stuck in Ukraine. So the summit has lots of implications for many countries, and it remains to be seen what decisions will be made. This is Jodie Cohen for WION World is One.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.